All right. And we're live. Can you hear me?
Yep. What's up, Gabe?
Not much, man. How you doing, Travis?
Been a long day,
Oh yeah.
but got to see
Yep.
Dune 2, so
Oh, dude, don't tell me. I haven't even seen it. I've been putting it off.
won't say anything except that it exceeded expectations.
I bet, man. That movie is like the first one. I because I'm in a band, right? So like me and the guys were talking about it, and one of my friends said that he turned off the first one. I was like, what? And then, but I think he just doesn't like sci-fi. His name's John.
I mean, if you don't like sci-fi, you won't like that movie. It's
Oh yeah.
the definition of a sci-fi movie.
Oh yeah, that's the one of the things that I'm really looking forward to, like in the movie is like, because everything is so cerebral. It's all like in the movie, or in the book, it's just conversations, right? So, I mean, it's they're like what I like about it is they encompass the surrounding, and then like all these conversations that are happening and then you just get to see like the visualization and being it brought to the screen, which I think is incredible.
The funniest way I heard it put was that Dune is Star Wars for people who listen to Tool.
Yeah, I don't like Tool, so
I know you don't. I knew you would hate that one.
I don't like Tool at all. Oh my gosh, I hate Tool,
Hit you right in the heart on that one.
dude. Yeah, that is not my cup of tea. Same thing with
Deftones.
Deftones. Yeah,
I know. I know.
yeah.
It's okay. I probably support. I probably listen to Deftones. Have been to their shows. Love them. Um, I don't know what to say.
Dude, next time we do this, I'm gonna have intro music, and
Is it going to be from White Pony?
no, it's I'm gonna snip it. We in the death metal band that I'm in, we cover a Korn song. And I'm gonna snip it the part where it says, "Are you ready?"
Yes, which is an absolute classic Korn song to begin with.
Oh yeah, dude. Hell yeah,
Off the original
Blind.
CD, if I remember correctly.
I think it is. I really honestly, I don't know, but we do a cover of it. I'll if anybody's interested, DM me. I'll send it to you. It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
I think I sent it to well, I don't know who the fuck I sent it to. Oh, Mr. Savolda. I sent it to him. He thought it was good.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, man, what's going on? What have we got in the works?
Well, I know we didn't. We both had family stuff going on last week. I had another round of sick kids. You had a birthday, and so we didn't get to do our podcast post chili cook-off.
Yeah.
So wanted to circle back around one more time. Thank our sponsors for the chili cook-off. It was an amazing event. I had quite a few drinks. I had a really good time. I think everybody else had a really good time.
Yeah.
We ended up handing out $750 in cash to two of the winners and some larger size checks and trophies and whatnot. And we had a lot of people from the community come in that weren't necessarily contractors or real estate or whatnot, able to get meet and greet everybody. And it was a lot of fun.
It was really fun. I came on a suicide mission down there, drove all day Friday to be there all day Saturday, and then drove back here to Amarillo on Sunday. It was
Didn't you end up going? Y'all ended up going to that Mexican music festival afterwards?
No, I didn't. I didn't go. I just went back to the house and crashed out, man. I had to early drive, but Michael and Yaritza and Oscar, and then Michael's girlfriend from Houston, they went. I saw the videos and the pictures that they posted. It looked awesome.
Yeah, it sure did. I'll be honest, if I start drinking at noon by like 5 or 6, that's it for me. Like,
oh yeah.
Unless I'm gonna like accelerate the drinking and then go out afterwards. And that definitely wasn't in the cards for that day.
Oh no, not at all, man. It was definitely like the daytime thing. One thing I wanted to say is like if we can give a shout out to the fitness foodies. They helped us judge the chili, and everybody like who came, like everybody's chili was amazing. You
Oh,
know,
dude, yes.
the guy who won, I think he was the night before at a Luke Bryant concert, like at 10 p.m. He put in his application or like signed up, and it was like, what? How do you just do it the day before? And what's really crazy is that he cooked on site.
Yeah.
So he didn't like prep it and bring it in a crock pot. No, he was out there brewing and stewing. It was incredible.
His was fantastic. Mix was really good. Melissa made a really good one.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm trying to think. Obvious, the guy with the, obviously Tommy Chef, his was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
His was cooked with lamb, I think.
Yeah, it was lamb and beef. It was great. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
and then we talked about the winner who was outside next to Mick, and then the guy who cooked chili with brisket. That was
That was good, but I felt like I felt like he cheated because just not that he cheated, but you know what I mean? Like you can't, I mean, just brisket is just so good. I mean, if you cook it right, it's
I
just like
know.
next level.
Brisket
So,
nachos, brisket queso. I mean, like brisket can be very versatile when you do it right. And I love
oh
I
yeah,
love
dude.
slow smoking a brisket.
It was a great mixture too. And then one of the good things about it was like which her name escapes me, but she was the female companion for the fitness foodies. She she said to mix like the winner and then the brisket chili. Oh, dude, it was incredible. Like just the smokiness of the. I mean, it hit all the points. It was
I
great.
wish I had done that, but there was a certain point where I could only drink the margaritas and I couldn't eat any more chili. So it was like that's where I was with that.
I felt bad because I thought we were supposed to start tasting the chili at 3, but because I judged it and I was like, oh shit. So no, we're actually announcing. So I'm like running around and I'm like had to like one by one like clean the palate. Wish I had some sorbet and some Dom Perignon like they do at a French restaurant. Like they're like,
Right?
clean your little palate. It was awesome.
It was
But
definitely fun. Um,
one for
yeah,
the
like I said, I
books,
had a
dude.
blast.
Yeah, so our next event, which is coming up, when is that?
So our next Austin event is Tacos and Tequila, April 18th at Builder Supply Group, um,
Mm-hmm.
6 to 9. I announced it, I think, 48 hours ago. We're over 240 responses, both in the contractor group and some real estate groups. And we
Mm-hmm.
got it on Eventbrite. So, again, hoping to have that good mixture of construction, real estate, and then potential clients and customers getting to meet people they would want to hire face to face.
Right, yeah.
And also getting into Builder Supply Group, which has a gorgeous showroom. They're a verified member. I know back when I used to help run Contractor Underground, we had a couple of events there, and those went really well. So super
Mhm.
excited about this one. And there's gonna be free tacos and free tequila. So like, you know,
Oh yeah.
know how you go wrong in that situation.
I'm really pumped about that one because I mean, I mean, I don't even should we kind of I mean, could we incorporate like a judging system? Because I think that would be incredible. You know,
So I had Angel
um,
ask if we were doing Angel Hernandez from CNA ask if we were going to be judging the tacos.
mhm.
We can. I mean, certainly we absolutely can. And we can do another prize for it as well if we want to go about that route. I guess that's something we can kind of poke around and figure out if we want to do that or if we just want to eat them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because if a lot of people like come through and everybody, of course, we're kind of what is this? Oh, sorry, I'm reading the comments. But yeah, I mean, if we could do that, I think that'd be great because, dude, there's a lot of people out there and honestly, if we could reach out, like maybe announce it, tomorrow night with the Hispanic podcast, or the Spanish speaking podcast, I think that'd be incredible too. Because the other day when I was in Austin, I was driving down North Lamar, and dude, on the side of the road, I just look over and there's like there's like so many people like just cooking out in the open because they have like a little like flea market out there in North Lamar.
Yep.
Dude, I was blown away by that. I can't believe the entire time I'd never seen those. I'd never been to one. I went to the flea market one time and it was odd. I think it was like just rained or something. But we walked through. It was real nice. But I think we had gotten there like maybe before they had started setting things up. But dude, there was so much. There was so much going on when I drove by there the other day. I was just like, whoa. I mean, people out in the air just like cooking al pastor, like where they stack, you know, all the
Yeah.
meat, dude, which is totally Mediterranean. Netflix had a like a TV show about tacos and like kind of show like where everything pretty much like had its origin, and the al pastor tacos are
That's
kind of
Greek.
like a,
It's like
yeah,
Greek and
well, yeah,
Turkish.
well, Mediterranean, yeah, Mediterranean, like all the Mediterranean places. And but what's really crazy is that, you know, most Mediterranean countries don't eat pork, but
Yeah. We don't have that problem here.
yeah, it was. I thought it was really crazy. Yeah, we love the pork here in the area. Well, man, so today we got our permit started for the Contractor Connection House over on Dunley. We got some of our master comment reports back from the city. We had to withdraw some permit that was, you know, had been started on another permit process, which we got that done. So we're like inching our way closer to getting that job. You know, that's getting our job, you know, that's getting one step closer. We got a question here, which I think is a pretty good question. What's the goal at the end of the year with this group? What are your thoughts on that?
Which city is that for? All I see is Facebook
Um,
user on the comment. So
yeah, that's what I see too. I wish I had a little bit more, because I mean we shared it to like so many, you know. I think we've got like pretty much all the triangular
for
that we've
Austin,
shared.
it's we're pretty developed and mature at this point. We want to continue adding features, like the classes that we announced that are going to have coming up.
Mhm.
Contractor Up will start playing a bigger part in that, and we'll
Right.
continue to run ads to bring people to our website and to the group posting work, and continue to sign people up to be verified, or ban them and suspend them to where we're basically it's only verified members that are commenting on these threads. And for the
Mhm.
most part, we've made a lot of progress on that. There was a roofing thread today that like I was on top of. It was posted like 20 minutes later. I'd posted the link. I was in there suspending people and banning people, and like it still ended up with like 55 comments on it. But you can only see about
Dude.
12 of those right now, I think tops, because
Yeah.
I cleaned most of them out. So
Was I saw somebody, it was really funny. It was somebody wrote on there, it's like, what if all of us just show up the day
right,
of? I
just
thought
do
that
like
was
a bachelor
hilarious.
style. I saw that one and I chuckled as well.
It's so funny. It's like, well, we all can't, you know, post the address, we'll all show up, meet with the adjuster, see who he likes.
Right?
It'd be
Ah, I
funny.
bet you the adjuster would
Mhm.
have an aneurysm if that happened.
Oh my gosh, just so many ladders just coming out the back of trucks.
People elbowing each other off the roof and stuff. I
Oh
mean,
heck yeah,
roofing
you
is
got
competitive, right?
it is.
But just like
It
with
definitely
every
is.
other trade and section of construction, you have your good and quality companies and you
Mhm.
have the other guys.
Yeah,
And so, just like with every other trade and section, we hope to promote our people because we can vouch for them, you know.
right.
Whereas the other guys, they might be great, whatnot, they might be horrible, we don't know, but we can't vouch for them. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, also, you know, towards the end of the year, I think one of the main things that we want to start seeing is like uh getting more of these houses in order for using and utilizing our contractors. You know what I mean?
yep,
Like so the ones that are verified, like we've got projects that we've set up for the use of our trades, and then, you know, just go that route, like to where we can, I mean, you know, anyone who's a part of the company or any part of the you know, the platform and that uses our services can have a fair shot at, you know, using it. Same thing like when the city has like all the wrecker services, right? They've got somebody stranded on the side of the road, they just call the next one in because they
yep.
know they can handle business, you know. And I think that would be phenomenal. Once we knock this project out, like we've got more lined up. and also moving that direction towards, the Houston market. Maybe do some down in San Antonio once, because San Antonio is getting big, it's getting huge, but San Antonio is like such an odd place.
San Antonio and Houston each present their own difficult challenges, but we have our third Houston happy hour coming up on Thursday. So a week from tomorrow. And that'll be a lot of fun. And we're starting to get some momentum there. And I do think we start implementing the Austin rules into Houston here sooner rather than later.
Right.
Because we're starting to get some real traction of jobs being offered into the Houston market on a daily basis, multiple ones, not quite to the level that Austin is yet, but I think we can get there. And again, if we can establish ourselves as the premier group like we have here in Austin, if I go here, I know what I'm getting, then I think that will actually accelerate it, just like it has in Austin. When we started this program, we were at, I think, 26,000 members.
We were at 20. I remember we had just hit 20. We were at like 19 and we just hit 20.
There you go. So we've actually doubled in a year while banning all these people and doing these rules that not everybody's a fan of, but we have so much work coming in that's what really is the point, right? That's what people are there for, is to advertise and be able to find jobs, but also some of the other things that we started to offer. We did an interview with Irvin and Morgan Orozco yesterday. I did one with Jose Cavazos today of Hook 'em Up Moving. And we're starting to get more out to the job sites and whatnot, meeting the verified members, doing the interviews with them. And it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I like I saw you guys did what's the HVAC company that you
Airfix Mechanical.
Yeah, those guys, I met those guys when we did I think the happy hour that we did over at Josh Wolf's place.
Yeah, they were there. And gosh, we hung out with them for over an hour. They're probably ready for us to get off their job site by the time it was all said and done.
Let's get back to work.
Urban and Morgan just had so many cool things to share, so many little tidbits that once this video gets released, it's going to be really cool. And we'll have some more like that from different trades. I did a cool interview with Sean Mincer that's in editing right now, and we'll post that. Same for Jose. They'll each be talking about their companies, their industry, and the higher standards that they set. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. One of the things I think that I'd really like to see us kind of move in the direction of is, where we're like with the classes. I think that is really going to be a really pivotal moment, with how we interact with each other and how we're able to give each other knowledge, because, the people who, oh shoot. I think the best thing that we can do, moving forward with getting people, you've got guys that are subscribing members out there that are, they just started, right? And then you've got people that are subscribing members that are about, a medium business, right? They're kind of breaking that point to where they're coming out of whatever. I think it's to be considered a medium business, you have to break into maybe the 5 million a year mark. Guys like Vendetti, who could really do a lot and help, with them being a part of a mastermind, how they scaled their business up, how they move, and then also reaching out there to some of the people that just don't, that don't know how to start. I think that's one of the main things, because everybody starts at the bottom, right? And then it's pretty much how you pace yourself, this past year, I've had the end of the year last year was just detrimental for me and our family, but we're recovering, we're getting back on top of it. So I'm not on my A game, which I know eventually I will be, but right now just even having that support, being in the room with other people who have the same drive and motivation, you are the company that you keep. So when you surround yourself with people like that, you're going and being a part of those certain types of things, it really helps you develop with your personal development and also business development, being around the other companies that just are striving to do well, and then also like picking up on their habits, like seeing like, hey man, what are you doing here, like, how are you getting over this hump? Because one of the things that I see a lot of people have trouble with is the estimating, and the really like pricing jobs, like where should my profit margins be, what am I, and a lot of the things, most times, like some of the things that I really one of my faults is I don't account for the amount of administrative time it takes to really do something, because if I'm the driving force behind it, I use myself as ghost labor. I can't do that,
No.
that's not sustainable. And like, that's why, being in the rooms with other people, like even learning, because I still have to learn, we're all students of this game, and nobody's got it mastered. And if they do, then hell, tap them for knowledge, get in there, get right beside them, rub those elbows, man.
Yep. I'm really the legal course with contracts is going to be amazing. You talked about being able to, do bids and kind of go over the right way to do that. That's going to be really cool. The mastermind is going to be fantastic. I think the whole series is going to be awesome. And it's not going to be the only time we do this. We won't do it every month or anything like that, but I can see us doing it 2 or 3 times a year as we get new members in, or maybe members couldn't make the first one and they get to the second one, that kind of thing.
Right.
But there will be more stuff like that, like us going out to the job sites. There's so many things that we're going to be bringing to the table and offering for $15 a month, and like there's going to be additional marketing that Contractor Up does. If people need websites built, if they need help with social media, things that are more labor intensive, obviously that'll be, charged for and in a different part, but that's why it's under Contractor Up and not under Contractor Connection.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing, like, I'm really looking forward to, like, we've got some people, in the pipeline to come aboard, with Lily's, Lily's, her reference for like Wyatt. We've also here, even like in the Amarillo market, I met with a gentleman today. I can't remember the name of his company, but he owned a company called King's Lawn, right? They were just like not a company, and then all of a sudden they were, and they're huge. And he was an owner of the company, and he actually, I believe, he sold his portion of it, and he started a marketing agency. And I'm just gonna try to be on his podcast here, coming pretty quick. But it's just like, it's really weird just to see that dynamic, like how you can scale your business up really fast through marketing, but you got to be able to handle like every job, And I learned a long time ago, like, don't say, not just because not all good business, or not all business is good business. You can get people that want you to come in, do some work, you get started, and it just turns into a dang nightmare,
That, and if you take on more than you can handle, nobody wins in that situation.
Right. And it's always best to like concede. I mean, this past year, it's just constantly been that, I see that all the time with my friends and like their companies, like they either take on too much, or like they scale and they like have a crap load of employees, but they don't have enough work to go around during the slow season. Like, even then, it really sucks when you have to let your guys go. Like, hey guys, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to make them clean the house? Like,
dude, I was running 33 employees at one point. Like,
man,
the pressure of that, there's 33 families you're feeding, I mean, obviously, I'm not feeding them, but like the churn of money on that and keeping them all busy and everything, like that was too much. That's why now, and I still get reached out for projects. I still accept projects, but I literally just turn around and I'm just going to sub out to the appropriate people in Contractor Connection. Anything that I get turns into a Contractor Connection project. So,
yeah, I mean, like right now, like even with Capital City Electric, like I'm definitely starting, because at first, like, you were giving me a hand in the office, but dude, it's outside. We're focusing so much on Contractor Connection now that I mean, like, I'm looking for help, man, and I need help bad. But, that could be the next like event that we do, like a job fair. It's going to get warmer. People who are opening up, like also with Contractor Up, like we're going to need administrative help. We're going to need to like help build our sales team. even with Contractor Connection, we've reached out to some people like Frankie. I mean, how we pretty much like came into acquaintance with Yaritza was like she was going to help us with the reaching out and getting people to come on board, which she's been a pivotal part of our growth, which has been
Yeah, she
great. And
has.
yeah, and then like even tomorrow, like whenever, I'm not sure who she's going to have on the show, but I think it'd be really awesome to see what we can do, like even like crossing those boundaries. Like most of the times, there's an untapped market if you're only catering to like English speaking people in the Austin area. And like, I see those posts sometimes and I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird. But at the same time, like, people don't feel comfortable trying to speak broken Spanish to people that they can't communicate with, so like those people that are bilingual are a great asset within companies to be able to communicate with both parties. It definitely makes a difference.
I wish I was more bilingual when it came to Spanish, but me habla poquito español, like
Yeah.
I can say a few sentences. I can understand more than I can say, but
Mhm.
I got to get on that,
Yeah.
I was working out when I had hands on doing the work. I was learning a lot quicker.
Oh,
I
yeah.
off on that, but I got to get back on it. Maybe some Duolingo
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. I mean, even submersing yourself, like making yourself have to speak it, definitely like works. Even my tenses still get like bad. My pronunciation is bad. But I mean, as far as being able to communicate with someone, definitely, absolutely. Be able to get a point across, what I'm needing, what I need to get done. Absolutely. But am I going to sound kind of funny? Absolutely.
They look at me and they just say pinche gringo, so it is what it is. Or pinche
Yeah.
güero, whatever. But yeah, Yaritza's podcast last week was amazing too. I watched most
Yeah.
of it. My 6-year-old, who he doesn't understand Spanish either, but he probably watched, I think, 30 minutes of that with me.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
On
that's
my
great.
phone. We had something on TV. I forget what was on TV, but I had the podcast on too, and he and I were watching the podcast. I would understand things here and there and explain it to him, but it was just really, really awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Fantastic audience, really good interaction, and obviously having Carlos Ponce there. That dude is a rock star. So
Oh yeah, dude. I saw something that we shared earlier. I think earlier in the week with a job that he was doing. Like his stairs are insane. Like
the next time you're down here, we'll have to hit him up, and you'll have to go see these floating staircases that he builds,
that's what I'm
because
talking about. Those floating ones. Like
I saw
that's. I
him.
mean,
Like, they're so cool. They're so cool, dude. Like, that's something when you walk in a house, like you're just like, damn, they did it like that right here. Like that's extra
yeah.
level.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's like those $3-4 million homes out there in Westlake. You know.
I don't know that that's what the ones are building out. And well, I guess this is '04. They're probably going to be a little over 7 figures.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have nice features. And at the very top, because he does the glass railings also. So he was showing us at the top of these, I think there were 3 stories. They had rooftop decks with the glass railings around them that he did. And you could see
Mm-hmm.
downtown from them. Like, it was
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. I don't know who this came from, but they are very impressive.
Agreed.
Yeah, I know. I saw like even the video that we first did of it. I was just like, whoa, because I saw that's just like these black slabs just sticking out of the wall. It's like, damn. And also something that we shared, I think that didn't get as much attention as I thought it should, was the partnership with Sherwin-Williams. And
Yeah.
then with Chelsea, like giving that video, like as she was talking about like our partnership, dude, that's crazy. Like that is insanely awesome that we have Sherwin-Williams. Everybody knows it's the best paint there is, right?
Yep.
What's the other place that just went out of business, or they're about to go out of business?
Kelly Moore.
Yeah. So, and then you've
They
got
did go out of business.
they did. I saw the Kelly Moore building the other day, and I was like, oh, I wonder what that's going to turn into
She
right
said
off of 35.
Sherwin Williams picked up a few of their people. I actually got to meet with Chelsea last week.
Mhm.
Really glad that she's our point of contact on that. She's super cool to work with.
Yeah.
And yeah, that partnership that we're going to be doing is amazing. Had a lot of non-verified people reach out and ask for the code. Didn't do that, but I've also had a lot of verified people reach out, gave
Yeah.
that to them. If you're a verified member, shoot me a message. I will shoot you the information you need to get the discounts under our name, and hopefully that's something that really takes off. And hopefully Sherwin Williams is just the first of many partners that we start forming
Mhm.
where, you know, they sponsor and they offer, you know, deals and basically volume pricing for our people. And in return, we promote them, we put them on our website, you know, we
Yeah.
make sure that, because like that video that we did with Chelsea is not going to be the last one we do. You know, we're going
Right.
to be hammering on that probably 2 to 3 times a month. It'll come up. We'll speak about it just as much as we speak about Rick Johnson being our insurance guy
Right.
and things like that. You know,
And
our
also
whole
Michael
thing
out of the
again,
Houston.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
with our verified members, with the sponsors, is we want to get good deals to give to the verified members, and in turn, that'll drive business to them.
Right. Yeah.
The group that we have is such an amazing community that anybody who has a chance to be a part of it is going to, whoever ends up getting a chance to be a part of it as an exclusive supplier, things like that, they're going to be sitting in a golden seat, you know?
No. My Doberman is trying to come in through the window. No.
That's why I retreat upstairs.
Yeah. Well, I put him
Otherwise,
outside.
the German Shepherd, the 2-year-old, the 6-year-old, they might all just come in the room at the same time.
Well, July's like he turned 1 on the day after Christmas on the 26th, but he's just so huge now, dude. He's so big. It's wild. Dogs are awesome though.
I
He's
love dogs.
oh man. When I was younger, we always had dogs, but they weren't really like a member of the family. They were just like fixtures. They were like necessary because we would go back and forth from Amarillo to Abilene, and we needed to have a dog like on the farm. So it was like it was just like an outdoor animal that we could interact with and play with. But then we also had pigs and like goats, and stuff like that. So they were always just kind of like a necessary thing. And then now that I'm older, I love July, but we have a Maine Coon cat. I freaking love our cat. Our cat is awesome. She's a turd though. She keeps getting out, and her boyfriend is this dude that keeps showing up. My son named him Charlie in the chocolate factory, but
Have you
you
gotten
know,
her snipped?
no, she's a Maine Coon, dude. I'm trying to get some baby coons.
Well,
Those
then you better
freaking
keep her from going outside.
I know. She's I think she's only like 4 or 5. Well, I don't even know whenever they can start breeding, but she's like 4 or 5 months old now.
Way
So
earlier than you think. My
yeah.
husky got my German Shepherd pregnant when he was like 5 or 6 months old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So well, July we're not going to get him fixed. We do have a couple of prospects because there's some people here that have Dobermans, but he's like a full-blooded European, so he's like huge, got the big old long head. We gave him the long ear crop because it just comes like straight up, looks like Batman, you know.
Nice.
But yeah, man, I'm looking. One of the things I'm really looking forward to the tacos and tequila. I think that's going to be an amazing event. I think really like how we had made comment, maybe like getting some people to like have like to speak at the event. I think that would definitely something that we could keep in mind and in line for
I
things
would
like
love
that.
for our sponsors to, if they want, but we have such good sponsors. I would love for them to just introduce themselves, talk to
Yeah.
the crowd for a little bit, have that private audience,
Oh yeah.
and talk about what they do. Because that's one thing that you really won't catch me doing too much is doing public speaking, unless I'm doing some sort of announcement, a quick thank you, maybe announcing some winners. Other than that, like public speaking is not my thing. I guess unless I have enough margaritas, and then I'll get in front and say whatever, Uh,
Yeah.
those are really good at taking the edge off. So
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Well, heck yeah, man. I think that once we get this like contract connection house started and we can really get in there and focus, like, because right now all of our preliminary content has just been, with like kind of getting people in the door and just getting them like on site. But once we've got permits started, I mean, I might even go through there and kind of show like the process of like how you've got to do it. I mean, there's a lot of things involved, because it's a burn down, right? So there was a permit that was started in 2023. I found expired permits all the way back to 1983, which whenever you do a residential remodel application, you got to go through the little portal. So right, so you push the button, it tells you like, and then it prompts you the next, and then you do like the actual application, and then it brings you to like if you're going to upload prints or plans or anything else that like could be of assistance to them. And then the very last paper or the very last form that they make you fill out is like an acknowledgement of expired permits, so that they can do away with one. And it was one of the things that we missed on that, is that we have to actually have the original contractor, which I got a hold of them today, and then had them pretty much apply for like I don't know how you would say, I want to say annulment, but it would be just like canceling the plan review, because everything, but when it comes in for the application, it goes through plan review. Then once you get that, you start getting your master comment sheets. And then after that, you have to go through like matching every single one of the things that they want, whether it's like from, oh, we need an engineer to sign this, which is one of those things that I think we could definitely touch on when we start building those classes out. And then one thing that we could heavily rely on are our subscribing members that are the architects and the engineers,
Yes.
as we get that out,
And
like,
we
I mean,
have
that's a
some
service.
amazing ones. We have some of the
Oh
best
yeah.
in Austin that are verified members.
Yeah.
Michael Areno and Jonathan Kaplan coming right to mind. And I don't want
Right.
to leave anybody else out, but those two I've worked with before. And they're awesome. And they will
Yeah.
just spill knowledge on you too.
Yeah. Yeah. And even sometimes like their wording, because with the way that they sent, I mean, because the way that they sent it back to me today, they were like, hey, you need to submit this form. And I was like, it's the fucking first one. You know what I mean? Like, it's the first one on there. And then I had to call the office, which luckily they answered. They never do, right? And it was just the luck of the draw where they answered, and they were like, oh no, if you refresh your email, which they did, they sent me the form, and it was for us to have that permit. It was to can or withdraw the application, but it happened in like 2023. So I imagine if I was trying to track down I'm pretty sure they don't do it, but the one from 1983, right? Like the plumbing permit that they were trying to pull in 83,
There's a
and then
decent
even,
chance the guy's not even alive anymore.
oh man, yeah, exactly right. And I mean, even like how much stuff you have to go through. Of course, they give you like the keys to the kingdom. You can navigate through all the stuff, like the appraisal district paperwork. You've got to go to Travis County, like whatever, and you got to figure out like what's the actual like legal name of it's like lot D, whatever, and then you've got to go through all that stuff. I mean, it's pretty monotonous, but when you get somebody that's gone through the process, it gets easier and easier. And so I
Yep.
think that's why, like, as contractors, whenever we start relying, and we've made mention of this before, is like the permit expediting, the expediters, because there used to be just a group of people that would just hang out at the city. They were like, you walk in and they would wait. What I always felt like is they would wait for somebody to look lost and be like, hey, you need help?
Right.
Like they're just like trying to push their product. Like,
I
hey,
would love to
everyone.
get a couple of permit expediters added to the verified member list
Oh
and
yeah.
start using them for stuff. I don't mind permits. I've been down to the city 1,000 times. I've been all up in those guts.
Mhm.
But it wouldn't break my heart to not have to deal with it anymore,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't break my heart, but it definitely keeps you on your it definitely keeps you on your toes. We've got a question here that said, do GCs need a GC's license in Texas? And then Madeline Nathal, she said they don't, which she's absolutely right. But sometimes you think that there should be like almost like a test, right? Like I mean, just basic construction knowledge, because anybody can call themselves a GC. They could sell you their services right away, and they could be, some keyboard warrior, right? That just doesn't know anything about the infrastructure of how to build a permit, but they're going to heavily rely on somebody else to do it, or just wing it until they're able to get that. I think not so much they need a license, but I think there should be like a test. Maybe. I don't know.
There definitely should be more. There should be, and some cities have it to where you have to, like I think San Antonio, San Marcos, you
Yeah.
have to at least sign up.
Most you have to register. I mean, you have to. That's like that's a pretty standard thing.
Yeah,
Um,
but
yeah.
it's not just GCs either. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much everything outside of MEP. We talked about roofing, fencing, all of those
Mhm.
things. None of them need licenses, and
Yeah.
that's kind of a
That's why
little
we
bit of what
started.
we want to do. Is we
Yeah.
certainly don't want to be putting out license for those type of things, but what we do when we verify people, that is kind of that next step,
Mhm.
is say, well, if you hire this person, at least they have insurance. If applicable, they have the license. They can do business in the state of Texas. And when
Mhm.
you check references on things after they've been there for a little while, um, and we hear back all sorts of feedback from a bunch of different companies, and still have yet to have a specific complaint on a verified member. We did have
Right.
one guy who used to be verified. He was a mason or a concrete guy. I'm sorry. Got unverified. And then, like 2 weeks later, I had somebody asking about, he said he was going to go back and finish his work. He still had he had a bunch of unlevel concrete and a number of other things going wrong.
Mhm.
And he's like, I'm not going to go back and fix it. He was like, he basically admitted to doing it poorly and not going back and fixing it.
Yeah.
And so off he went, like he's
Yeah.
banned out of the group now.
Yeah. And one of the things too, I think like the people that sign up as handymen, like I think one of the things that we should do is like we should make people aware of the fact that it's not just like what the like Texas Plumbing Board or like TDLR requires. Like there is an entire law. It's the Texas Occupation Code that requires certain things. It gives you like a breakdown of I mean, things that like are offenses, like you could go to jail, like you could get in trouble, like say when a general contractor goes and moves a bunch of electrical, like there is a occupation code like statute in there that says, hey, anybody who impersonates the electrical contractor could be, what I mean? And then imagine that, like we're GCs, right? And we have the electrical contractor come in and they bid us too high. So we make them only do like a portion of the work. And then we have somebody who's unlicensed do the other portion. That, of course, that would never mesh. But I mean, I think that like that's, I mean, if any respectable electrical contractor would be like, what the hell? I don't think they would do it.
Any
There was actually,
respectable one would.
right. There was actually a project that we did for, and we ended up, it was this called, I can't remember the name of the, I shouldn't say the name, but it was a commercial general contractor. We did the, what was it called? It was downtown, the one right there off of Cesar Chavez. It's like the Austin, one of the convention centers or one of like the civic center, where on the third floor, I believe it was a third or the second floor, they were taking out all of these walk-in coolers, and then they were putting in all these brand new walk-in coolers. Well, they had it portioned off to where like there's a big huge industrial dishwasher. There was one cooler that was getting taken out, and then there was another cooler that was getting put in. Well, I bid the whole project, and then come to find out they had another electrical contractor come and bid the project, and they tried to get us to split up the scope of work. And I was like, okay, well then who puts their name on the permit? Like you need to split this. You need to pull a permit for each course of work, but of course it's municipal, right? It's the work for the city. So we ended up doing the work, and then they were having these people come in, and like at the time I didn't know what my recourse was, so I called the SMBR, the small minority business representative, because like they had to play liaison, and they advised me, they're like, look, we're just go ahead and invoice for the work that you've done, and because we're not really getting a lot of leeway with this contractor, So I was like, all right, so here's my invoice. Here's what I've done. I'm out. Like, and my name was on the permit, and then I charged them to do the reassignment, and then the other contractor completely left, and then this job just sat there forever because I kept calling back and being like, "What's the status on this? What's the status on this?" And it was crazy, dude. It was nuts. And it was the lady. She told me that she used to do. Um, they were a pipeline company, and they won the bid for removing all of this refrigeration units, and they came and took like panel by panel, right? Because they built it that way, and they came to do it panel by panel, and it just, man, it was a nightmare. But it was a city job, so and everything had to be done at night because it couldn't be done during the day. Because like I remember they were having some kind of there was a construction expo that happened one day, and like as we were showing up, they were kind of like breaking everything down, and then the next day they had like it was at the convention. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it's right off Cesar Chavez downtown,
Is it
and
convention center?
it's the convention center. So on the third floor, they prepare food. So it's like a fully working kitchen where we had to, get everything turned off, like get everything blocked off, and then we had to remove all of the all the paneling, which I just made everything safe and just kind of hung out while they kind of did everything, and just made sure like my electrical wasn't messed with. And at the time, like we didn't have the we weren't fluid enough to get somebody to come out there for prevailing wage, and so I was like, screw it, I'll take one for the team. So I was the guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was wild, man. Like it was absolutely oh, he's making holes. Dang it. July.
There's a comment that says a contractor who never shows up to the actual job site. Those are called keyboard contractors.
Yes.
They're essentially a form of taxation, but they sell jobs. So
Yeah.
I mean, they can be useful for that. But even
Yeah.
I, on our contractor connection projects, I'm hiring verified members that I don't have to babysit. I'm still going by there once or twice a day, checking on things just to make sure it's what you're supposed to do. If you're not doing that, then you don't have quality control.
Yeah.
And everything you're talking to the client is secondhand information. And those are, as a general contractor, to your biggest responsibilities.
Oh yeah, be like the project that we've got that you and I are taking on for like building the little casita. Like we have to make sure that goes right. We've got to be there for it, like the install. I mean, and then
I'll be there every day once we start breaking ground. Well, I guess we still got to talk about the scope on that and how that's changed a little bit. But every part where our scope is involved, I'll be there on a daily basis, checking in on things. And there's more than just that. You want to check and make sure that the job site's still secure. You want to make sure that it's not getting trashed, because especially when we're first starting out and hiring the cheapest people, we'd end up with beer caps all over the yards, cigarette butts everywhere, fast food wrappers all inside of the house, like just really unprofessional and gross. And so it's one of the things you got to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, or like have the people in place that are your liaisons, like your project managers, hiring, like, you can own a construction business, but if you don't have the infrastructure set up for it to be ran without you being there, then what the hell are you doing? You have to be there. You have to be there.
You have to be there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping. I've spoken to a couple of investors here and one in Houston. I'm hoping that we work with them and we get some more contractor connection projects, and we keep on, I would love to say we'll rotate and make sure everybody gets a job. But the reality is, you're still working under the constraints of a budget. You're still working with people who are trying to make money just like everybody else is. So that's part of it. Right. But as much as possible, we like to get different companies in there and work with them, see their work up close, all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's another thing about like how we come to your job site and film your work as it's going on. in the Amarillo group, we had a guy, you know, that I mean, he made a good point. He's like, I'm hiring these guys and they're not doing quality work, which first of all, that's like a reflection of you as you hire in your hiring process, right? And he was like, well, I want to be able to come to your job that's like a working job site and be able to come and see it, which is all great. Like it makes sense on paper, but realistically, like, or like work that you've completed. It's like, how can I, like, you know, say you're a homeowner and I did a job like, you know, 4 months ago and I call you back and like, hey, I'm going to be there in like 45 minutes because this guy wants to come and see this bathroom. Make sure
Right.
it's clean. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of, it's a weird request, which it makes sense. But us going to the contractors that we have that are verified projects and like showing what we've done and the progress that we've made, it's always better to see things while they're going on, you know, because you see the process. The same thing is going to be the same with the contractor connection house, because we're going to be able to film everything that's going on with that, um, and document it. Which, you know, once we get that done, I really would like for us to see. Uh, I really would like to see. My son's on the YouTube. He's what's up, Dad?
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah. Hey, Max. He's watching this on YouTube. But yeah, you know, us being able to document everything and to be able to do that, I think is going to be a really big addition to how people perceive like a construction zone, because everybody thinks it's just a bunch of dudes like messing around. Of course, like we're in the age of TikTok and, you know, like Facebook Reels, we see that it's an actual like moving unit. It's a machine. So I think that that's really going to be something that, you know, that would, I mean, if somebody were to jump on there and want to pick up like it to be like a mini series, you know, we're open to that. If anybody, if you guys know anybody that's wanting to come out and film, like let's get some people together. Let's edit this thing up. Let's, you
Well,
know.
and even if nobody else does, the full intention is from start to finish, we put together all this film that we've done, even up to now, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then as the work's going on, and essentially make a full season of episodes of it, you know, the pre-con, the bidding process, the
Mm-hmm.
MEP, the framing, insulation, drywall, and then you get into order of operations of how you finish out a house. Really
Mm-hmm.
want this to be, it's not just going to be some 1 hour episode show that you see on like HGTV or something, you know, where
Yeah.
it's all about the real estate agent or the designer or something stupid like that. Like
Oh
this is going to
yeah.
be about, this is going to be hours of good content broken up into episodes, but of how a remodel actually happens
Mm-hmm.
from the studs, from the contractor and the trades point of view, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to have some douchebag show up for the camera 5 minutes before holding a hammer when there's
Yeah.
not a damn nail in the house because everything's screwed in,
Right.
and you know, like banging on the island or something, you know, like all over your
Yeah.
framing, you know, like, you
Yeah.
know, hasn't broken a sweat, is perfectly clean like they have on these shows. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
you hadn't been doing shit. If you're on the job site for more than an hour working with your hands, you're gonna have stuff on you, you're gonna be sweaty, you're
In
gonna,
you blowing your nose. Like, oh God,
yeah,
what is
you
all this
know,
black goo?
like it's gonna be from the perspective of our kind of people, you know,
Yeah.
how
The
this
blue
is the
collar.
right way to do it. And then people, hopefully it'll make people more comfortable having it done at their house. They'll understand, they'll be educated on the process.
Yeah.
So they'll be a lot more ready to take that leap if they're like, okay, well, I kind of have any idea of how this process works.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. And that's good too, because, you know, like contractors I mean, I've in the Austin market, I've noticed like they become scary to homeowners, right? It's like, oh, this guy's just coming here just to take my money, you know, but just to see the process and see like who's like the people that are behind like the work, you know, because they get, say for instance, like there was a company that absolutely sucks. I would never recommend working with them, called Hestia. They had a great sales team. They had a great sales team. They had horrible execution, and they had a horrible like project management. So like you've got these project managers who are also the sales, who are just going around and selling these jobs, and then, you know, they're not like they're not paying their subs. Like, it's just like, whoa, like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and even the like, because I did 2 jobs for SEO. We ended up doing a kitchen remodel, and the lady that we did the kitchen remodel for, she was a lawyer. It's like the audacity to do that to a, you know what I mean? Like that takes a lot of balls. Like, you know,
Yeah,
because
she
most
didn't have to
lawyers,
pay
they could,
anybody to come after you. She can just put on
yeah,
her
no
tape.
way. Exactly. Yeah. And then there was another lady who, like, she was in a party and events planner, and Lindsay, she was awesome. She, you know, she had to pay us out of pocket because Hestia just did not, uh, which, you know, they just didn't pay us. Like, this isn't liable or anything. Is, I mean, these are the facts. Like, that's just what happened. You know what I mean? Um, but they were one of those companies that, like, you know, and there's, I'm pretty sure they're still around. Like, they may have cleaned up their act, but they were based out of Houston. But coming here to Austin, like, it was just poor management. It's just one of those instances where you've got to have boots on the ground. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't mean to name drop. My bad. Uh, but then they were crazy. They were a wild company to work for, and it was just always like a cat and mouse game. But, you
There's
know,
some of them that are starting to end up in jail.
oh
So
yeah, yeah,
you piss
there
off the
are.
wrong people for enough money, and it becomes a felony case. And it takes some time. The cases get complicated, but
Mhm.
at some point or another, they'll come get you.
Oh yeah, I have to do like a deposition for a project that went south for someone who's in our like mutual friends. Like, I have to send them that, and there's like an open, like the people that they did the house on, they completely ruined. Like, they sued me, I countersued them. You know, I beat them in the damn thing, and then now, like, Travis County and the DA's like, you should, you know, we want you to be a star witness and an expert witness in this. So, you know, which I've sent them all the stuff that they need. I don't know what the status is on that, but, you know, there's people out there that are still, I mean, there's still, you know, people can change, right? Of course, but, you know, it doesn't mean that, you know, you're not going to be held accountable. And everybody, you know, that's another thing, like, too, is like, it's growth. Like, they could be like the worst person, but in 10 years, like, they're running like the best company because you learn from your mistakes. Of course, it's a fuck up. Absolutely. But, you know, you always have to learn from your mistakes and make sure that you can
There's
own up
definitely
to them,
levels
right?
of mistakes, but I get what you're saying. You
It's like
know,
you can, like, yeah,
one
there's like
mistake
murder
doesn't
and
define a
then,
person,
right.
especially if they're willing to own up to it, try and make it right or whatnot. But we
Oh
don't want to
yeah.
go too far into that because we might end up digging ourselves a hole or digging somebody a hole on that one.
Yeah.
Um, well, yeah. So, we touched on some of the new features that we're adding. We're going to be adding those to Houston, like I said, with the Houston group. Um,
Mhm.
we'll start probably implementing the Austin rules, I would think, by summer. And maybe the same thing in Amarillo. And then by the end of the year, Dallas and San Antonio as well won't have the full set of Austin rules, but they'll have verified members and things like that because they're growing pretty rapidly. Dallas actually has a pretty good amount of traffic as far as people looking for work in there goes already.
Oh yeah, I mean, I go through like the people that are wanting to post and the people who are posting for jobs, like, they're almost neck and neck. It's pretty awesome to see that kind of growth.
Yeah. So, we'll grow up. Somebody asked earlier in the podcast about our goals for Austin, but we have goals for a lot of the cities. We have our goal for Houston is to be bigger than Austin by the end of this
Hmm.
year. And that's
Oh
just
yeah.
demographics, right? Houston, anybody who's lived in Texas knows how huge Houston is. Austin's not that big.
Yeah.
Same issue with Dallas. We will want to have those end up being bigger than Austin, even though Austin will always be the OG.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, like I said, by end of this year, we have the metros going, metropolitan areas going. Middle of next year, we have some of the smaller cities around Texas going, and we're starting to pop out into Louisiana and Atlanta, Nashville, Charlotte, Denver. Those kind of cities start popping into those,
Hmm.
and probably end up putting some miles on the Tesla.
Nice. We got a comment here that says also Next Insurance does not cover everything. That is true. I mean, it's pretty, it's geared towards contractors, but it's like you can pick and choose like who, like I guess your policy. I'm not really sure how the next model works.
They're
And then
basically
the
like
other
a
one,
broker.
right? And then the other comment was, what other contractor insurance do you recommend besides Next? Man, Rick Johnson. Rick
Rick
Johnson,
Johnson, Michael Soto.
yeah, Michael Soto out of Houston, Rick Johnson out of Austin. Madeline Natasa, she uses Stephen Platt. I've never heard of him. He may be great, but man, I would say um, check out Rick. Rick can get you a quote really fast. He's super reasonable. He doesn't cut corners too, because he's actually giving us heads up on people that are like, we're looking just for a cover sheet. And it's like, no, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? He understands like what his role is, and his role is to make sure that people are insured, and that they're
properly insured. Like the purpose of
right.
it isn't just to have a COI so you can get verified with us. The purpose of
Exactly.
it is to be insured. So if something stupid happens or something
Yeah.
bad happens, you're covered with it. You don't have to
Yeah. Like
pay out of pocket on those things.
absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, and I think we were double paying at one point for like Next and for him, which I thought was weird, like that was, and I mean, he also does. What else does he do? I think he does like commercial auto. I'm not sure. Um, you should have this type of information somewhere exclusively for verified members. We do. We're pretty adamant about the people that we use. I mean, Renegade and Rick is all over Austin, and also our website.
What I would like to do though is start a page, not a group, but a page
Hmm.
for just verified members, get them in there. Then I could, in that group, publicly share things like the Sherwin-Williams paint discount. We could talk
Hmm.
about the verified only things that are going on in there to them first before we announce it to the rest of the group. And we can also use that as an advertising vehicle as well. I think that might be something we look into, is um, something where it's basically like a club area for just the verified members.
Right. I don't know. I think Facebook is like pretty much been the vehicle that we've used, but maybe like I don't know if like would a page be able to encompass all that, or would it have to be like a private group? You know what I mean? Like because what I think
It
we're at
could
like
be
maybe
either. It could be a
yeah,
Discord server. There could be a number of different ways. It doesn't always have to be Facebook. And
right.
obviously, as we grow, um, and our main focus is the funneling of the website. But
Hmm.
as we grow, Facebook will always be a pillar of that, but we want to have other things outside of that.
Well, actually, just now we're just like we're literally doing what we usually do during the day. But what if we took the Wix? Just talking about like the way that we like
Right?
execute stuff. But what if we use the Wix because we've got everybody on there on like a mail server, right? Email. So if
Hmm.
we start sending out our notifications from there, letting people know about the upcoming events before anybody else sees about it, and then with that, as they're verified members, we can send them, like again, we're kind of giving them like backdoor look at like how we usually do things. But I mean,
Yeah. But
constantly
that's a
think,
really good idea because we do have these kind of generic email campaigns that go out when you sign up and then when you become a member, but there's
mhm,
not much else besides that. And I think that could be another place that we start adding value to the members, through,
yeah,
we don't
getting
want
a
to blow up their
GMAS, yeah,
email with spam or anything like that, but just kind of put
right.
out blasts when we have some important information or we have some deals to offer or things like that.
That would be good, like a mailing list, almost like GMAS. Even whenever you do, I can't remember what it was called. I think it's like Gorilla Mail or something like that. But it had to do with it was
There's
a
Gorilla Mail.
QuickBooks.
There's I think uh Chimp Mail or something like that.
That's
Or
what it was. It was chimp mail. So, and then there's Gmass, which is like Google's mass, like emailing to everybody that's like a part of your business. We can also start utilizing like the Wix, because everybody's already in there. If we did a campaign, then we'd be able to send it to our subscription holders because that's how we archive it right now. I think that's something we should start doing. I'll start looking at that too. I'll start looking at that tomorrow and maybe see if we can't at least do like a test. and then people, if we can see, we can get their responses, and because that would be a great way to do it. Then what we can do is, instead of everybody like, just open invitation to our subscribing members, hey, do you guys want to sponsor this event, instead of us having to like, you know what I mean, and like send it out there and then kind of weed through the ones that are verified and aren't verified. Same thing with like the Sherwin-Williams code. And then as we get more and more vendors, like exclusive vendors like Sherwin-Williams, we'll be able to give them like the vendor code for using the Contractor Connection profile. I think that'd be awesome.
Hell
Also,
yeah.
Travis, I forgot to tell you, our cards came in, so I'll be shipping these out to you and Deanna. They look nice. They got that velvet.
I'm ready.
You can't see it. You can't see it from here, but on the background, there's like a shadow of Contractor Connection that reads in the back. They're super duper nice, dude.
I'm really excited about this. There is multiple pockets of vendors and companies that I'm going to be going out to. There's a lot more networking events that I'm going to be attending.
Nice.
Sorry, liver. But I'm going to, growth doesn't just, for us, growth has organically happened, but we top that organic growth off with just old fashioned elbow grease and legwork,
Yeah.
just constantly going out there. Part of it also is being super lucky to have the following that I have on Facebook for whatever reason, and being able to cross promote onto my profile, which has actually closed in on a 2 million person reach last month, which is kind of ridiculous. But that's the number of people. You don't always see the like. They don't all, like, some of the posts don't always get the likes and the comments that others do, but they still get in front of 10, 15, and 20,000 eyes,
Oh, yeah.
Sets of eyes, I should say. Because last time I said number of eyes over there, Brady made a smart comment about if it was pairs or singular, and I told him that we were only inviting cyclopses over. So
heck yeah. Well, man, this has been a very good podcast. It's good that we got to brush up. We've got stuff coming up like the Contractor Connection tacos and tequila, which is going to be rad. We've got a little banner right there. You can see. I don't know if you guys have noticed the tickers and the stuff that's been going across the screen. It's been really neat. I forgot to change the.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, some orange up in here. But yeah, that's we're going to try to add more stuff. I'm going to try to see if the guys will let me do it with in my band, so that we can use that. What do you call it? The intro music. We'll get something going, and then we love the live format. I think it's great, but eventually I would love to start doing these like at 8 a.m, right? And then getting them prepared and then getting it like chopped up to where you can actually have like better production value rather than
these just like everything else we're doing, the more we do it, the better it's going to be. The longer we have this group and the longer we continue on this mission, the more features we'll be able to add, ideas that pop up.
Oh yeah.
Well, as I tell people, as much as we've grown and as big as we've gotten, especially in the Austin area, we're literally just starting.
Mm-hmm.
Like this has a huge trajectory and runway in front of it, because it fills the need that really nothing else out there is filling in the way that we do that. And I'm proud of the way that we do that. Like you call it risk mitigation, and I think that's the best way to put it. And I made a video about that not that long ago that I posted that got a lot of really positive reaction of if you don't want the headache, if you don't want the stress, come to Contractor Connections website, check it out, hire those companies.
Right.
They're not always going to be the cheapest, but it's way more expensive than hiring the right person the first time is hiring the right person the second time.
Mm-hmm.
After the first person who was like, oh, I can do this $12,000 job for $5,000. They half-ass it. They run off with the rest of the money. And then you still got to pay somebody to come in and do it right.
Yeah. It is frustrating. Luckily it's not as bad as it used to be, because it used to be crazy. Like, especially with like the way that we're cleaning up the market. You know what I mean? Like it's not a free for all. Which I mean, anybody knows like when they post on here, if they put a job like, hey, come trash haul. Before it's like it seemed like a race to the bottom. You know, I saw
They're
some
posting
people like,
prices. You'd have people talking about doing it for 50 or $100.
dude, even I saw one time like it was like someone was gonna drive to Georgetown to do like a pickup a shitload of trash for $30. And I was like, man,
It's
that
not
guy
even
needs
gas.
money. Yeah. I was like, oh man, that sucks, you know, like, but I mean, it is what it is, you know, and I'm glad that we're doing what we're doing so we can get rid of that, you know, just that this just the hustle and the bustle of trying to get things. But you know, I'm excited where we're going. I think that, you know, we're on a trajectory where this thing is going to get, you know, it's gonna, this is huge. Like what we've got going on is huge, and the network that we're creating is definitely something that's now it's like it's bigger than we are. You know what I mean? Like it is
Oh
its
yeah.
own entity, and it's great. I love that we're capturing that, and then also like all of our members, they help us capture that too, like with just being who they are and like doing the work that they do.
They're the
You
ones
know?
that create the community that we have.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But Travis, it's been awesome. I'm really jealous you got to see Dune 2. All
No
righty.
spoilers.
Yeah, please don't, dude. I've been watching a bunch of lore videos like a dummy, but I haven't watched any of them that go over the movie. So,
Knock it out
alrighty, man.
soon.
I have to. I have to. But thanks, man. Again,
Yep.
Cabman out.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.